Hi, my name is Mara Scarborough. I'm with the Bon Secours Volunteer Ministry. I work at the Family Support Center as a branch of the hospital. One of the things that was important to me when I was discerning which faith-based program I wanted to be a part of was finding a place that was intentional about placing our service in the community in which we lived and worked. A recommendation I would have for someone trying to discern whether or not a year of service is the right fit for them is to be really intentional and authentic throughout the application process. There are a lot of questions and conversations that need to be had because organizations are looking for a volunteer that's going to be the best fit, as well as you're looking for the best fit organization. And being intentional and honest in those conversations early on will help to make sure that you find a place that's suited best for your growth and development.
I would tell them to be ready to, to get to know yourself. I think even more than getting to know your community members is I learned a lot about myself, and I learned what I'm good at and what I'm not so great at, and how to be okay with those things and really still be an impactful person and still live in community and get to know other people while acknowledging that we're not perfect people, and living in a community and doing really important service definitely teaches you that you're not perfect and that that's okay, and like no one wants you to be in order to do good work in the world.
I think I would tell myself to not be afraid to tell more of your own personal stories at service. I think there's a lot of receiving from students and from community members at service, and when you give parts of yourself to them, that only strengthens the trust and relationships that you have with those who you're working with. And so I think I would encourage myself to be a little more open and not as afraid, because these relationships could carry on even after your service year, which I'm excited to continue to build on relationships.
I had friends who had done those other programs, but I think everything from the initial interview to like the walking the whole way through, like every person in the staff is like, they're willing to get to know you, they're working with you and very accommodating and sort of making sure that you're getting the most out of your year.
I think that it was a great experience coming from a college community, sort of a nice transition. You're still living with people your same age that have similar doubts about the future, questions about what they're doing with their life. So I think it was a great way to go from college to more of the real world.
If I can bring it to present day, like something I take with me that I try to keep alive today from my experience in Baltimore with Bon Secours is I try to do two things every day, and that is have a moment of communion with somebody and a moment of sort of creativity with someone or something. And I think I feel like that's all I really need for my day to be good, to have a good enough day, is to have those two things. And communion can be as simple as kind of having a conversation and lending an ear and checking in on someone's day. Creativity doesn't need to be like a piece of music or a piece of art, but kind of just like creating kinship, creating a joke, creating a moment to share with somebody. And so those are the two things that I think I learned to really make intentional in my days in Baltimore, and continue that sort of practice today to try to incorporate those into each and every day in my interaction with everybody I come across.
Bon Secours, we're living within the community that we're serving, whereas there are other volunteer sites and service placements where you're living like across the city on the nicer part of town, and then you're driving to work and you're pretty separated from it, and that kind of is similar to how I was back in Los Angeles in college, where I go to school and then I go volunteer, but I always have like this little safe spot, this little outside bubble that I go back to return to, versus actually being like inside of it and living it is like, I think, critical to anything that you're really doing, is really truly experiencing what it's like, instead of seeing it from like an outside perspective.